Hey, what's up you guys? Darkside here back with another video, and today we're going to be checking out the Marvel Legends series, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Scarlet Witch. Taking a look at the packaging over here is pretty much the exact same thing that we've seen with all the other plastic-free Marvel Legends packaging. And of course, that is coming to an end later this year. But we do have it for this figure over here. And as you can see, it has Wanda in the front of the cover. It does look a little bit ugly, being that it's the sort of like the photo scan of the figure, not the actual figure in figure form. But you do have a little picture of Wanda in the back over there. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness at the bottom, plastic-free packaging. At the top, you have Marvel Legends series, and then 4+. Very top here, you have the Doctor Strange Sanctum Sanctorum window. At the bottom, you don't really have much going on, just a bunch of plastic-free. The side over here, you have Scarlet Witch once again, Marvel Legends series. At the other side, it's the computer render of the action figure. Marvel Legends series at the top, and then the back over here it does show the computer render of the figure once again, along with the accessories that comes with Marvel Legends series Scarlet Witch, and a bunch of legalese at the bottom over there. So here's Scarlet Witch, and I must say this is definitely an improvement as opposed to other Wanda action figures that have come out over the years. But there are definitely some cons with this figure. It kind of goes both ways with, both pros and cons. One of the cons definitely being the accessories that this figure comes with. As you can see over here, she does come with her iconic sort of, I don't know, magical effects. But this time, it's in a dark, translucent purple. And, it still, looks good after... I don't know how many years this has existed, but it's definitely been a lot. It's come with almost every single Wanda figure that we've seen. But if you want to put it on her hand, it kind of just goes on like that. It kind of sits there. I will say with this figure, her arms are a little bit skinny, so sometimes it's difficult to try to get it to stay in one spot. It'll just like move around, as you can see right here. So you kind of just have to play around with it to get in the placement that you want it. But then otherwise, Wanda does come with this book of the Darkhold that was featured in the Doctor Strange movie. And this is pretty cool. You can see that little like sculpture of, the Scarlet Witch that we saw in the film with some nice, texture going throughout. And then you do have the cover of the book over here, which looks great as well too. The only thing is, for me, I don't really like the fact that it's because it's one hard plastic. That's all it is. And for a book, you would think that you could open it and close it, but not with this over here. So that does disappoint me a little bit. I don't know, I guess Hasbro has their own reasons for doing this. It's a bit of a cheaper way to do it, but I would definitely like to see a book that I could at least open and close if I wanted to, and not have one that was all the way open as it is here. But the sculpting looks really good. Could have had some work on the paint, but I think it's a good accessory. But that's really it. That's all that really comes with the Scarlet Witch over here. And yes, it's a little bit disappointing to me, but you have to be expecting that. Especially, at least for me, I found this figure at Toys R Us in Canada, and I believe it's a Target exclusive in the US. And this figure, at least in Canada, is going upwards of $35. At least I paid $35.99 for it. And then the taxes on top of that, that's like a $40 figure. And all you're getting is 3 accessories that, it adds to the figure, but like I would have wanted to see more with this. Well, we'll get into it at the end of the video. But as for the actual Scarlet Witch figure over here, the figure actually looks very, very nice. I will say this is probably the best likeness we have to Elizabeth Olsen in figure form, at least out of the other 3, because for MCU Scarlet Witch figures, we only had the one that came with the sort of Infinity War set with the Vision. That's pretty hard to get now, but that likeness was also dated. But then they started using the photoreal tech with the WandaVision figure. But in here with the Doctor Strange figure, I think it turned out the best. That looks very, very close to Elizabeth Olsen, I think. So that's really good. That's definitely a plus. And that's one of the parts of this figure that is new. And of course, the horns over here. The sort of tiara is very nice as well too. As for the rest of the body over here, you may see this as being familiar because this is the exact same chest and also legs that were part of the WandaVision figure as well. It's just a little bit different in terms of paint detailing. I will say, like, I am a little bit disappointed because in a lot of areas in this figure, it's looking very flat to me. It's got sort of the photoreal paint as it has on the head over here with the rest of the body. And, you know, the textures look great and all. It's just, I don't know, just the color, it looks so flat, and you can definitely, like, tell that, you know, all the paint detailing that's in here is printed off of, you know, the whatever photoreal tech that they're using. So that disappoints me a little bit, but, you know, it serves the job that it's meant to serve. Like, even look at the pants over here. Like, these pants are looking way too flat, way too plain to me. They just look like it's, you know, an all-out just regular black. So a little disappointing to me, but, you know, as I said, I guess it gets the job done. But for a $35.99 figure in Canada, I don't know how I feel about that. On the arms over here, this is actually also one of the newer pieces to the figure, and I believe these hands are as well too. But anyway, the rest of the arm over here, as you remember from the WandaVision one, the sleeves kind of cut off around, I think it was like around here somewhere. You can still see, like, you know, the flesh tones in the arm. But as you can see, this is an entirely new sculpt, so I'm at least happy that they went ahead and did that. And again, there's a little bit of that photoreal like paint that's going in over here. It makes the figure look a little bit fake. I'm not sure, you know, what they didn't do to you know, not have it match well. It's just, you can tell like all the areas that were painted on top. So I don't know, to me it looks, at least back here you can kind of tell there's a little bit of weathering with the dark paint, black paint, and it looks really good there. It's just in some areas, like I guess the textures that they were using, is you can especially tell in, you know, the sort of the skirt pieces over here. So yeah, but, you know, detailing otherwise is really good on this figure. We've seen it before with the WandaVision action figure, and yeah, I think for the most part, it's a very well sculpted figure. In terms of articulation though, it is a little bit limited, especially in the head over here with this big hair piece. She can't really move up that far. That's probably the extent of it. So, you know, there's no real way of getting away with that, but she can move it down slightly. And then also, you know, move a little bit side to side. It's just, yeah, it's really hindered, unfortunately. But for the chest over here, she does have a diaphragm joint, so it kind of helps with moving down a little bit. As she can move down around that much, she can move back with a little bit of gap over there, but she can move back around that much, which is good. Her arms do swivel, you know, up and down because it's on the ball joint. It can go out like that. There's a bicep swivel in there, double jointed elbows, which is great to see, and then a wrist swivel along with a hinge on the wrist. And then, of course, in the legs over here, we do get the ball joint on the legs where she can kick forward. She can kick back. It's just the skirt piece is kind of hindering from that. She can do the splits, but again, the skirt piece also kind of hinders that, which is kind of disappointing. But she has the thigh swivel in there, double jointed knees, which is great, and a hinge at the foot, which goes down, goes up, and ankle pivot as well too, which is great. For my comparison over here, I have the Scarlet Witch next to Vision, and as you can see, they scaled really well together. This Vision is a little bit dated though. This was from the Infinity War 2-pack, as I was talking about earlier, but you know, they look really well together. One thing that I was a little bit confused with in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, that movie, was that we didn't really see any Vision in there whatsoever. Now, I don't know if that was intended, or maybe if, you know, the director, they didn't direct WandaVision, so I'm not sure if they had any connection to knowing how much of an impact Vision was in that series. So I want to hear, you know, in the comments down below what you guys think about it. Like, do you have any theories as to why Vision didn't show up in the film? Do you think he'll show up in another appearance later on because he is now White Vision? Let me know. So final thoughts on Wanda over here, to make it short and sweet. I do think this is a great figure. All the Wanda figures in themselves have been absolutely fantastic, especially the last one with, you know, the WandaVision figure, which this is mainly like using the same parts from. So in the comparison with the two, it's kind of hard. It really, I think, comes to your personal preference. If you really like, you know, how the Scarlet Witch looked in Doctor Strange versus how she looked in WandaVision, then I'd say, you know, go with this if you like that evil, sort of witch look. But if you like Scarlet Witch as more so of like a hero character, I do think still that WandaVision action figure holds up in comparison to this one. I do think it is in fact better. The hairpiece on this figure over here just kind of hinder the articulation, whereas the other one had the hairpiece go up, so that one was a little bit better if you wanted to get some unique poses out with that. But I will say with this one, the hair being down, it's more accurate to how she looked in the film, so I do think that's a plus. But as I said, it really just comes to personal preference. I know I said a lot about the figure and the paint detailing the figure because it's a little bit lackluster, at least in my opinion, but I do think that the head sculpt is by far the best that we've seen with all the other Elizabeth Olsen Scarlet Witch figures. The only thing I would say about this one in particular kind of has to do with the overall sort of issue that's going on with Hasbro right now, and that's the pricing of these action figures. In Canada, as I said, this one was $35.99, and plus tax, that's like $40 figure, which is kind of crazy. And I'm sure in the US, I'm pretty sure this one is actually like $25.99 or at least $24.99. So that's already like $5 extra to the regular typical figure that you'd be getting. And yet you only get 3 accessories. Like the Scarlet Witch figure is already a small figure as it is. And so, at the end of the day, like what exactly are you paying for, right? So it really is just up to you, but if money is not really a concern, I do think this is definitely a great addition to your collection. And if you have that original Scarlet Witch figure, I would say just stick with that one, unless if you were looking for something where you could have, sort of like evil Scarlet Witch and a good Scarlet Witch, this would be a really good comparison with that. But if you love Scarlet Witch and you don't really have a Scarlet Witch figure yet, I would definitely say this is a definite pickup if you can find it in store for at least a decent price. I, for one, am a huge fan of the WandaVision TV show, and I'm a huge fan of the Scarlet Witch characters, so I call this a major plus in my book. With that said, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are you going to be picking up this figure? Did you like Scarlet Witch in the Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? But as every YouTuber begs you to do, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.